お
The Converse Star Tech with the unique unisaddle design.
What's good, anime enthusiasts? Welcome to another episode review for Liar Game. Now, this episode is very educational, not too much, but it really highlights some concepts and ideas and actually real world things that actually happens when it comes to cons, scams, and the effects that it does to the victim and what the actual perpetrator does to the victim. It talks about how it affects a person's mind, their psyche, the different movements and things that people do when they're under this kind of psychological pressure and mental instability. And it also takes its time while it goes through the things. Like, we still haven't completed the first game yet. So that means hopefully that each and every play that we go up against, there's a new lesson to learn. There's a new scam to get through. So in this particular episode, this particular episode, it's more about how to pressure someone to make them break and crack in order for them to do things that you want them to do in order to gain information or to actually get something that valuable from them. So how do we get there? Well, episode begins with Nao declaring war on Fujisawa and claiming to get her million back and stealing his 100 million. Then afterwards we get the OP. The OP, very nice, chill, groovy song. I like it. But back to the anime itself. Why did Nao declare war on Fujisawa? Well, Akiyama says that the plan requires two things. We need to A, make it clear that Nao is going to be playing the liar game, which she did, and B, keep Fujisawa under constant watch. Now, it was also time for Akiyama to do his thing, as he scares Fujisawa by saying, "Hey, yo, bud, what's up? I'm going to be playing the game as well on Nao's behalf. It's a 2v1. Have a good time. Also, I got a perfect plan in order to steal your money. See ya." And afterwards, it gets a little bit of time to where Nao is actually keeping watch on Fujisawa in her car, but staking out somebody inside your car outside the house gets Fujisawa to call the police on her, and they dip. But Akiyama managed to get some keys to a place that allows them to keep watch on Fujisawa from another building that's very close by. So here is the real kicker. Oh, before that, when Akiyama does get the place, Nao thanks Akiyama and declares, "Hey, you're a nice person for doing all this for me. You're not such of a bad person, but why are you helping me?" And then Akiyama just skirts around the question. But now, let's get into the plan and what's really going on. Because if we get into it, Nao isn't sure how the plan works or how are you gonna get the money. Like, why am I keeping watch on this dude while he's still stuck in his house? Akiyama explains, okay, he says it's a common con artist trick. You rattle your mark before closing the trap. What does that even mean? Essentially, you make someone lose their composure. You're slowly making them think one way or another. You're psychologically attacking them. You're driving them to the brink in their mental state. And when you do so, they'll be willing to do things you wouldn't dream of them doing. If you want, you can attribute this to what happens in today's, world. Scam callers happens all the time. Now, if you're thinking, oh, scam callers can't get me, well, always remember, scam callers' most prominent targets are people of an older age, where they might not know one way or another two things, and also people that are already, stressed on the brink. When somebody gets that call and they hear something horrible that's happened, it's like, hey, company X or company Y is doing something to you. There's a unfortunate thing that's happened. You were billed wrongly. For some reason, you owe a whole bunch of money, one thing or another, just to, quote unquote, as Akiyama says, rattle you, to scare you, to make you think, oh, something unknown is happening, something crazy has happened, and I don't know what to do. It just came out of nowhere. I don't know what to fix it. And this person is telling me. And then when the person tells you, hey, I know a way in order to fix your problem, follow these steps and we'll get you covered. And when that person already, sometimes it happens really quick and it's there, you're already in. But sometimes it just takes a slow, methodical process as a scam caller is talking to you more and more and more. That social engineering, we'll probably get another episode on that in Liar Game, but with a little bit of social engineering and to really redirecting the person's mind somewhere elsewhere, they're able to get the scammers be able to get the information that they need, get their money, boom, they're out of there. No need for worry. So relating this back to the anime, as you shows, you see that Fujisawa, he now knows that there's two people that are after his money. That's the rattling. And he knows Akiyama's perfect plan. Even though Akiyama isn't doing anything, it's the idea in his mind that's going to make his mental state spin. Also, he doesn't know that he's under constant surveillance, like 24/7 watch. But this pressure is starting to unnerve him. And now it's like, okay, that's cool and all, but he's still cooped up in his house. And Akiyama's like, yeah, because he's been cooped up in his house this whole entire time, there's a high chance that his money is actually inside the house. Because think about it. If Fujisawa said, yeah, all the money is in a safe deposit box, you're not going to get it. Okay, so why are you still inside the house? If it's in a safe deposit box to where nobody can get it but you, why are you being so scared? You should be more confident. You should be going out more and like living out the rest of the time, just, chilling, celebrating. But here you are inside your house, scared, unnerved, watching, making sure nobody's like getting inside your house or anything. That's odd. So that must mean your money is inside the house or somewhere nearby, that you need to be there constantly watching and making sure it doesn't just disappear on you. And so with that being said, the duo start to pressure them more and more and more, and they're starting to narrow the location within inside his house. So after several days, Akiyama's like, yo, let's play a little trick. So while it seems that Fujisawa's house is on fire and he's looking around, he's scared, he calls somebody on the phone to try to come and put the fire out, and he hears an explosion. What really happened is that the explosion was just from a speaker box. And the smoke, well, it was from a little campfire on the outside, and now it was just blowing smoke into the vents. Through that whole entire thing, Akiyama easily declares, okay, the money is inside this room that you're currently in, because you didn't even bother to look heavily for the source of the fire outside of this room. You tried to call someone to try and put it out, but not the fire department itself. And you're not even leaving your house to save yourself. It seems like you would rather die in this room rather than save your own life. Ooh. And with that, Fujisawa was like, you know what? You got me. It is in this room. It's actually in this safe. This big, heavy safe. And he starts like already like declaring victory. You won't get inside this safe. You can't break into it. You need a combination. All that stuff. And then Nao just looks defeated. She's on her knees. She's crying a little bit. We can't get the money. And then Akiyama, complete opposite. Cool, calm, collected. And he's like, okay, I'm still gonna get the money anyway. And it's gonna be it's gonna be even easier now that you've shown me. And that just makes Fujisawa panic even more. And so we get into this idea of cognitive dissonance. This is a whole place to where most of the time humans want to, people in general want to keep a collective understanding of the world around them. And so because of that, you just passively think about the world as everyone else does. And when you don't, you start to feel a little bit unnerved as if the world is like against you. This is what happened to Fujisawa. Once his world was shattered, he tried to, think about it to where what it actually is as an Akiyama's sake. And when he did, he starts just breaking down further and further and further. He's going through every single possibility and way of how Akiyama could get inside the safe. And when he does so, he keeps changing his defenses, and his ideas are getting wilder and wilder and wilder. Afterwards, days later, you get a card saying, "Yo, time is getting approaching to where the game's gonna end." And a super important detail on the card that's gonna come into play, I believe, next episode, is that they're going to collect the money at 5 p.m. on June 14th. I think the time is more important. Afterwards, you get a montage of time passing, days going by. As it gets down to the final, the final hour, Nao goes ballistic. She starts crying her eyes out. "Please don't, make me lose. Give me the money back, please." Fujisawa doesn't care, pushes her away, closes the door, locks it. Time ticks down, and when it hits 5 o'clock on the dot, he yells out victory. Nao cries out in defeat. There's a ring at the doorbell. We don't know who the doorbell is, but the episode ends. What I'm predicting, possibly, is that Akiyama is going to pretend to be one of the Liar Game associates, so that when Fujisawa opens the safe and gives the person the money, Akiyama goes like, "Yo, that was me, bud. Gotcha." Game ends. Because probably the people aren't going to be there exactly 5 on the dot. There's probably going to be some leeway time from here to there. And we know that they're going to come up to them for the money, but we don't know exactly what time and things of that nature. So Akiyama's taking advantage of the situation that Fujisawa has been going ballistic in his mind, that he's not even thinking straight as to the other possibilities. So Akiyama's got him cooked there. But anyway, the episode was really good. I enjoyed every bit of it and watching it and relearning, I guess, and keeping in my mind of techniques and human psychological actions. It's really good. I enjoyed it. But let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Any predictions y'all have for the next episode of what will happen next and who we might see in another game, or what else we might expect from the anime. If nothing else, hope all of you have a good day, night, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world. And I hope your day is just a little bit better than it already is. With that, we'll catch y'all in the next episode. Peace.